Alright, welcome to another Packet Tracer video. This one is activity 9314. We will be troubleshooting a small IP network. So we're just going to examine the local LAN topology and then troubleshoot our network connections. As we can see, there's a lot of red, so we're going to have to fix that up. So the configuration contains design and configuration errors that conflict with stated requirements and prevent end-to-end communication. We will troubleshoot the connectivity problems to determine where the errors are occurring and correct them using the appropriate commands. When all errors have been corrected, each host should be able to communicate with all other configured network elements and with the other host. And password is Cisco. So the IP address block of 172.16.30.0/23 has been subnetted according to the following requirements and specifications. Subnet A has 174 hosts, while subnet B has 60. The smallest possible number of subnets that satisfy the requirements for hosts should be used, keeping the largest possible block in reserve for future use. And we are going to assign the first usable subnet to subnet A. Host computers use the first IP address in the subnet. Network router uses the last network host address. So based on these requirements, the following address requirements are provided. And we have those down here. Whoops. So here we go. So right off the start, we see that subnet A needs 174 hosts. Which they're going to have 255 here, so that will be fine. So let's see. The network router uses the last network host address, so that's 254. The first address is 0.1, which is true. 0.0 and 0.255 will be network address and broadcast address. So there's your network address, and the subnet mask should be correct. You can't get, if you have, so they'll have 255 hosts, and you can't get any smaller without having more than 174. You could go down to 127, but that's not going to do it for us. So subnet A is going to have to stay the same. That looks good. Subnet B, they needed how many hosts? 60. So and they're starting at 172.16.31.0, which is fine. The first IP host is fine. The problem is they have 127 host addresses when they only need 60. So they're reserving just way too many for this bottom subnet. So for 60, you'd be better off with a subnet mask of 255. 255. Let's get a little note going here. 192, which is going to give you 64 addresses minus the 2 top and bottom. which is going to give you 62. They need 60, so that's perfect. IP address is the same. The first IP host is the same. The last IP host is 63. I believe. So we've made some changes to subnet B there, and we've made a note of that. So now we can begin troubleshooting at the host connection connected to router 1. So right here, so let's just check if we can ping a few things from PC1. Can we ping PC2? Doesn't look like it. We'll do it anyway. So PC2 is 16.31.1. Okay, let's try that again. Don't know really what's happened to my command prompt here. So we are just going to reset this really quick. Try that again. Sixteen, 31, and 1. So, of course, it's not going to work out. So from PC1, can we ping the router FA01 interface? Oops. So 192.16.31 and 1. That's not working, so can we ping the default gateway, which is going to be 172.16.31.254. So that's right. Request timed out. Can we ping PC host itself? 172.16.30 and 1. One 72.16.30.1. Can't even ping itself. So that's definitely not good. So we need to begin troubleshooting, and we'll begin troubleshooting right at the host, or at the routers here. So we'll begin by viewing the summary of status information for each interface on the router. So as I was looking up the IP addresses, I noticed this one's connected fast Ethernet 01 to that switch. The link is down. It's connected fast Ethernet to the PC host, and that link is down. So we will need to most likely issue some no shutdowns to get all the links back up for these ports. We could also go into the config, except not on this lab because it's locked, which is fine because we can go in here. Alright, so let's first do a show interface so we can see. So they are administratively down, line protocols down, encapsulation is ARPA, that's fast Ethernet. Fast Ethernet 01 is the same. So we want to come in here to interface FA, what was it? 00 and 01. We want to get them all going. And we want to just do a no shutdown. And you see on the screen over there, it's already turned green for our connection. So let's go to interspaced fast Ethernet 0/1, no shutdown, and that one's connecting. So that looks good. So if we put the mouse over that one, the links are up, this link's up, 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 everything's connected right there. So, and that one's up, it's just connecting. Alright, let's see. Alright, so that's good. So let's examine the full status of FA00 and 01. Let's see if we can ping from one host to another. This one was 1631 and 1. I can't remember them. 1631 and 1. So we are still not pinging. So we are going to have to do some more troubleshooting here. Alright, so at least this alright, let's see if this first PC can ping this switch at 192 or 172. So this one this host can ping itself there, so it should be able to also ping this one, which is should be the router. So this is FA00, so it should be 1631.254. So that may be one of the problems we have now, is it's coming up with the default gateway of 30.254, but really it should be 31.254. So we need to change the default gateway to get in there. Let's see what the host says. Host 2, gateway 31.126. So what I'm going to do is change this address here, the fast Ethernet 0/0 to 172.16.30.254. So let's do that. Am I in router 1? Yes, I am. Interface FA0/0. IP address. No way I remembered it. Want it to be this gateway here, 72.16.30.254. Yeah, and we should have caught that. That was actually in our activity guide here. The network router uses the last host IP address, so subnet A, we should have been right here, 30.254, so that's what we're doing. 16.30.254. So let's just see it. It's up. Let's do a show run actually. So it is now 30.254. Alright, so now if we go in here, we should be able to ping 172.16.30.254. And there it goes, so the host can now connect to the router. So let's try, what was this one again? 16.31.1. So we still can't reach host 2. So let's look at our guide again. So what we have somewhere in here is, I've seen it a lot of times, we have things that are set up to 192. We don't have anything in our subnet that is in 192. So that's the problem with that. We're going to have to change that one to 172.16.31.1. I believe. No, actually we're going to have to change it to 126. So that is our problem here. If we look at our guide again, we can scroll up to see the show run of this one. So this is the connection to switch 1, 192.16.31, 1. It should be 172.16.31, 126 with a subnet mask of 192. So interface FA 0/1 IP address of 172.116 or 16.31. Forgot about my notes over here. It's gonna be 0.63. And I forgot the subnet mask, which is 192. The problem I'm having now is that this default gateway, once 126, I changed the subnet mask so we'd only have to have 62 hosts, so we wouldn't use up a bunch of hosts, but not sure how to change this default gateway here. Alright, so all we need to do is change the default gateway, and I've just looked at it a little bit. It's in here, the IP configuration. So we need it to be according to our thing here, the network router uses the last network host address. So this one should, I think we set this one up wrong, it should be .63. Oh, I see, it's given us an error. Let's see, we need to configure this one again. Should be 62. So I just didn't count right, so it should be 62. So now if we look at that, it is the 62. Then we can go in here, change this to 62. And so this one, go in here, I'm just going to copy this IP address, go into our first host, do a command prompt, and of course it didn't copy. 172.16.31.1 should be it. Oh, the request timed out, but then it started to come back in. So let's do it again. It was just processing a little bit, but now it looks connected. And there you go, 100% sent, received from PC host to PC host. And that is going to do it. That's going to be all we needed to do. We are at 75% here. Let's check the results, see what they wanted us to do. So the IP address is incorrect on this one. I should have just changed the default gateway, but I changed this address in here. So to satisfy that, we can look up at what it was supposed to be. So that it should be 30.254 in here. 254, which it is. Let's see. I'm not sure what they're. So it's the 01 that they don't like, which is the one that I changed. Perhaps they didn't want me to change it, but the reason I did change it was to make a smaller subnet for that second one because they didn't need quite so many hosts. So I thought that was beneficial. Anyway, we got it working, so I'm calling that a win. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.